Okay, B'Shem Hashem and Seven Hatziach, page 40, Daf Chaf Amud Bet. Mina tefillin, women obviously don't put tefillin. They are exempt from that, but they do have to pray Chayavim betfilah mezuzah and put a mezuzah on their door, even if they leave by themselves. Ubirkat hamazon, grace after meals. So to delve into the halachic perspective of this, there's a machlokes if you look in Tosas between Rashi. The Shulchan Aruch says like this. First of all, regarding women, it's true. Since Shema has a time restriction on it, they're exempt from it. But Shulchan Aruch Maran writes, "V'nachon hu lelamdam shekablu alem ol malchut shamayim." At least they should say Shema Yisrael because it's so important. It's the most important Jewish prayer, and they should accept on themselves the yoke of heaven. Not because of the literal mitzvah of Shema, but because of the mitzvah to declare that Hashem is their king. And the Ramah brings, in the name of the Bet Yosef, the Sefer Ohel Moed, Ve'ikru lepachot pasuk rishon. At least they should read the first pasuk of Shema with Baruch Shem. But Baruch Hashem, women nowadays are so sophisticated, they read the whole thing, they daven, they read from the Sidur. Regarding children, the Shulchan Aruch says that there's a machloket between the Rabbeinu Tam. This that the Mishnah says children don't have to say Shema, that's only if they're under Chigia Lechinuch, which is they're under 6 or 7 years old. But once they're 6 and 7 years old, the Rabbeinu Tam says they most definitely have to be trained and accustomed to say the Shema. Rashi says no. Even if they're 10 or 12 years old, since the father's not there to take him to shul, they don't have to. But the Shulchan Aruch says that since this Shema Yisrael is such an important Jewish prayer, Maran Paskins Nachon Linhog Ke Rabbeinu Tam. It's the right thing to be stringent. Baruch Hashem nowadays is not a problem, and everybody, all children, even at 3 years old and 4 or 5 years old, at least they say the first pasuk of Shema, and for sure older children. Gemara says, Kriyat Shema Pshita, mitzvat azmen she'azman gramahu, v'chol mitzvat azeh she'azman grama nashim peturot. It's elementary that women are absolved and exempt from Shema, because it has to do, it's a time constriction, and time constriction women, any mitzvah with a time constriction women are exempt from. Gemara says, I might think that they have to do it, because it's the yoke of heaven, so even though it's such a monumental and fundamental mitzvah, still they're exempt because it has to do with the time. And any mitzvah that has a time frame to it, women are exempt. Mina tefillah, tefillin, of course they're exempt from tefillin. Gemara says, Pshita, I might think that since it's connected to mezuzah, they also have to do it, so no. Obviously, women do not put on tefillin, and according to the Yonatem Ben Uziel, they're over on, when it says in the Torah, a woman should not wear the clothing of a man, lo tilbash, it's talking, clothing of men is tefillin. Chayvim betfilah, why do they have to pray? Derachaminin, because they also need mercy from God. Gemara says, Gemara says, of course, they have to pray. Gemara says, no, since there's mincha arvit and shachrit, which is time constricted, I might think that it's like a mitzvah that's time constricted. No. So women do at least halachically, this is the halacha, have to pray at least once a day. If possible, there's nothing wrong for them praying 3 times a day, because Rav Avadia's shita is that women also need to say 100 brachot a day. And it's kind of going to be impossible unless they pray 3 times a day, or that's a mystery. Umezuzah, they have to do mezuzah, pshita ma'odetema, hoil v'tkasha Talmud Torah kamashmalan. Of course they have to do mezuzah. I might think no. Since it's like study of Torah, which women are exempt, because it says u'matem et benechem, so they also are exempt from the mezuzah kamashmalan. It comes to teach us, no, they most definitely do have to do the mezuzah. Ubirkat hamazon, pshita, of course they have to do birkat hamazon. Gemara says, Mahu detei mahoyel b'ktiv betet Hashem Lachem ba'erev basar le'echol v'lechem ba'boker lispoa k'mitzvat ha'shazman gramadami. Since when God gave us the man, it came only in the morning and night, so it's kind of like people don't eat throughout the day. They used to just eat breakfast and dinner in the ancient times. So Gemara says no. It has nothing to do with time, so therefore they have to do it. Amar Avada Barabba Nashim Chayvot BeKiddush Hayom Devar Torah. Women, according to Torah law, have to say Kiddush. Like tonight is Friday night, after Lechadodi. If a woman's by herself, according to Torah law, she has to do Kiddush. She cannot eat Friday night or Challah unless he does Kiddush. This is a halacha also. Gemara says, Amai, why? Mitzvat aseh shazman gramahu. Shabbat is only one day a week, so it has a time constriction. V'chol mitzvat aseh shazman grama nashim. Peturot, any mitzvah that has a time frame, time constriction to it, expiration time during the daytime frame, women are exempt. Amar Abaye midirabanan. Abaye's opinion is midirabanan. Amar Rabba v'hadvar Torah kamar. No, you're wrong, Abaye. It says that they're obligated from Torah law. V'od kol mitzvot ased nitchay. So it says, V'od kol mitzvot ased nitchayivu midirabanan. Every positive commandment is only women have to do from Rabbanan. That's not true. Ela Amar Rava says, Amar Kra, Zachor v'Shamor, Kol she'yeshno b'shmira, yeshno b'zechira. V'hanina she'hon li v'itnu b'shmira, itnu b'zechira. There's actually a lesson we learn from the Hekesh, that when God gave us the 10 commandments, one time it says, remember the Shabbat, one time it says, keep the Shabbat. Whoever has to keep Shabbat, obviously women are not allowed to work. Lo ta'aseh melacha. On the 7th holy day, they're not allowed to work, so they also have to do shamor. They have to keep and remember the Shabbat. That's why it's recommended before you do Kiddush, at least you should meditate that you're doing one of the 613 commandments of the Torah, which says Shamor et Yom HaShabbat, Zachor et Yom HaShabbat. Remember the day of Shabbat to make it holy. So whoever has to keep Shabbat and not work also has to remember Shabbat by saying Kiddush. And that's actually the halacha that, of course, women have to do Kiddush from Torah law. Amar le Ravina le Rava, Nashim bebirkat hamazon deoraita derabanan. There's a question here. Is women's obligation to do grace after meals from Torah law or rabbinic law? Lamay nafkamina. What difference does it make? Lafuke rabim yedei chovatam. Can a woman say the grace after meals, the grace birkat hamazon for her entire family? For men. If she's on the same biblical Torah level that she has to do the mitzvah, then she could also act as like the chazan, act as the person to mimotzi and cause other people to fulfill the mitzvah through listening to her, because they're on the same status level. But if she only has to do it not from Torah law, from rabbinic law, then she cannot obligate and exempt the masses by her reading for them on their behalf. She cannot act as the chazan on their behalf, because if the men have to say it on a Torah level and she's only rabbinic, she doesn't have a strong enough authority and power to help them fulfill the mitzvah and act as their agent. Gemara says, what's the final conclusion? The Gemara says, Tashema be'emet amru ben mevarech la'aviv ve'eved mevarech la'rabo ve'isha mevarech la'ba'ala. Aval amru chachamim tavo ma'ara la'adam she'ishto u'banav marvarchin oto. In truth, they said, really a child could say Birkat HaMazon, grace after meals for his father, and a servant for his master, and a woman for her husband. But the Gemara says it's a shame on a husband that's such an ignoramus that he can't read himself. He needs to be the leader of the family. So the Gemara says, if you see, we see from here that a woman also is on the Torah level. That's why she could fulfill and exempt her husband, which is also on the Torah level. If you say that she's only rabbinically obligated, how could she exempt her husband and act as his agent and read for him on his behalf if she's only the Rabbanan and he's the Oraita? If she's from rabbinic law and he's from Torah law. Gemara says, "Uletaimech katan bar chiyuva." Everybody would agree that a child is only obligated to do the commandments not when he's a child, only when he becomes a bar mitzvah. Elahacha b'mayaskin, in this case, that we said shame on the husband that doesn't know how to say Birkat Hamazon, is not the ordinary case. Kegon she'achal shiura derabanan. You only have to say Birkat Hamazon if you had a kabetza, which is around 54 grams, an egg size volume. But if you only had a kazayit, 27 grams, you only have to are obligated to say Birkat Hamazon on a rabbinic level. So the case here is that the father or the men or the husband only had a small slice of bread that he only has to say Birkat Hamazon from rabbinic law. That's why his wife can exempt him and act as his agent. De'ati derabanan mufek derabanan. One rabbinic duty comes and fulfills the other rabbinic duty. But we have no proof from here. It's a safek, actually. If you look at Tosfot and the poskim, we're not sure. If a woman's obligation to say Birkat Hamazon, it's not conclusive. That's why she should not say Birkat Hamazon if somebody had a whole sandwich. Darash Rav Avira Zimnin Amar Le Mishmeder Rav Ami Zimnin Amar Mishmeder Rav Asi Amru Malachei Sharet Lifnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The angel said in front of God, Ribono Shel Olam, Master of the universe, Katuv B'Toratcha Asher Lo Yiseh Panim V'Likach Shochad. You do not take a bribe. Right? God is very strict judgment. You can't bribe God. But on the other place in the Birkat Kohanim, it says, Yisa Hashem Panav Elecha. God is going to so and so find favor even if you don't deserve it. It's kind of like a bribe. So that's a contradiction. So Amar Lahem, God responded, said, you know why I'm extraordinary kind to the Jewish people? V'chi lo aseh lahem panim laYisrael. Why should I be extraordinarily nice and bend the rules? Shekatavti lehem b'Torah achalta v'savata. I only said you have to say Birkat Hamazon if you have a whole egg size of food, which is like 55 grams, 54 grams. But they are stringent on themselves, and even if they have one slice of bread, which is like 27 grams, they say Birkat Hamazon, which we established doesn't satiate you. They even say it on less than they're obligated. That's why I also go the extra mile and will have extraordinary mercy on them, even though I said in the Torah I don't take bribes. The Mishnah says, Baal keri meharer belibo ve'enu mevarech lo lefanav ve'lo acharav. In the olden days, in the ancient times, when a person had a mission, a man, he would not he would only say the Shema in his heart, all the blessings in his heart. So it says, a Baal Keri must contemplate in his heart and not say them out loud. And even in his heart, he doesn't recite the blessings of the Shema, not before it, not after it. Lo lefanea velo la'acharea. Ve'al hamazon mevarech la'acharav ve'eno mevarech lefanav. Because Ezra HaSofer made this decree that until a person dips himself in the mikveh, he doesn't do any of the rabbinic blessings. That's why Birkat Hamazon, that's from Torah law, he does say mevarech la'acharav ve'eno mevarech lefanav. The blessings before, like Hamotzi, he would not recite those. Rabbi Yehuda Omer mevarech lifnehem ve'achrehem. The halacha is not like the Tanakama. It's like Rabbi Yehuda, that of course even a man that at night had relations with his wife, or he had a mission, a young man, a person that had a seminal discharge, he does recite the blessings of the Shema before and after the Shema. Now the Gemara says, Amar Ravina, Zotomeret Hirhur Kedibur Dami. Deisal Kedai Tachlav Kedibur Dami Lama Meharher. It must be when you contemplate something in your mind, it's like you're saying it. Because if not, why should the Baal Keri contemplate saying the Shema in his mind? No, the Shema Baal Keri does have to say. Here we're talking about the blessings. Gemara says, Elamai, Hirhur Kedibur Dami. If you're saying contemplating is equivalent to speech, then Yotzi B'Svatav, let him say it. Gemara says, no, Kede Eshkachan B'Sinai. Ezra's decree was that since a person is not pure when he has that nocturnal emission, the Torah is so holy that we don't give him the chance to say Shema unless he goes to the mikveh. But contemplating is okay. Thus, Ezra's decree was formulated, it is too restricted only to the recitation of the Torah words, not merely the thought. When Ezra made his decree, it was only to verbally saying it, but he didn't put a limit. You could always contemplate the words of the blessings of the Shema. But Rav Chisda says no. Hirhur Rav Kedibur Dami. Contemplating is not like saying. If there's no difference, if by you just thinking something, contemplating something is like saying it, then why don't you just say it? Elamai Hirhur Rav Kedibur Dami Lama Meharher. So according to Rav Chisda, what do you accomplish by just thinking about the blessings? Since you fail to fulfill your obligation of saying them by just contemplating. So Amar Rabbi Lazar, Kedesh Elo Yeh Kol Haolam Oskim Bo V'Hu Yoshev Batel. The reason is because if you're davening in a minyan and everybody in the minyan is saying the blessings of Shema, which are so eloquent and beautiful, and you just space out, that's not appropriate. So therefore, if you're in the minyan, okay, you didn't able to go to the mikveh, but at least you should contemplate on the words of the blessings of Shema, so you should be in the same boat as everybody else. The Nigros Bepirka Achrina, but why don't you just go learn something else? Why specifically contemplate about the blessings of the Shema? Amar Rav Ada bar Rava b'dvar she'asibir oskim bo. It's only appropriate to be together and be as the same unit as the congregation. So since the congregation is doing the blessings of Shema, it's appropriate for you also to think about the blessings of Shema contemplated.